We are live.
It depends on the compromises we're making also. Right?
We're not making any compromise.
All you people of the dead economy.
Yes.
I'm not part of that.
We are alive, yeah.
I'm very much alive.
All you Indians.
Welcome, guys, to Bulls, Bear and Banter.
Banter.
First off, sincere apologies to everyone. We've not been doing this for the last 2 days.
We were out of station or we were not well.
And Sajeet sir has been traveling, which is why we've not been doing this. So
And
next time,
and you've been not well.
and next time, Sajeet sir should not be allowed to travel. That should be the vote. Do you want it?
Yeah.
We want Sajeet sir.
हाँ ठीक है कर लो भाई. और तुमने क्यों नहीं किया कल तो तुम थे.
अकेला कैसे करूं भाई?
मजे नहीं.
और तुम बीमार थे.
Sir, but main reason was you traveling.
नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं. Anyways, welcome back. So in last 2 days, too many things happened. मतलब you frustrated Trump, forcing him to call our economy a dead economy.
And levy a 25%.
And levy a 25% and another penalty which may come in on that.
Have you spoken to anyone with regard to this 25%
Trump?
Donald?
tariff?
Yeah.
डोनाल्ड से बात की थी.
डोनाल्ड के अलावा सर डोनाल्ड का पर्सपेक्टिव मिल गया एक ट्वीट से. उसके अलावा
Truth post.
whatever.
Yeah. Interestingly, when you go to Truth Social, it says, "Okay, hang on, we are verifying that you are human." You are human. See, if we are human, then we are not a dead economy. Yeah, well, it was completely unwarranted. Yeah, I don't know why.
It shows the frustration the US is having
But I'm
in
just saying,
negotiating.
India and US have been such great partners. I mean, why all of
See,
this?
the thing is that
Silly.
even though
Do you
they,
think it's a negotiation strategy? I think
It may well be, but
It is very well.
not calling out such stuff.
Yeah, that's
This is not wanted. I mean, NHS.
I think he was frustrated by the parliament debate where everyone was trying to call Donald Trump a liar.
You know, incidentally, I was watching Jeff Gundlach, and he had this interview which he gave 1 month ago, where he said India is at the cusp of where China was 30 years ago, and he said, of course, the dollar, domination will likely subside, and India will be one of the big beneficiaries of that. And he's spoken about that. So it's ironic that it comes at a time when one of the leading investors who genuinely puts money behind
What about everybody, na?
behind his
Aap
mouth.
socho, Jeff Gundlach in fact said that you lock it up and open it after 30 years.
Yes.
Right? But on the same day that Donald Trump said that, oh, this is this, and blah, 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 Google has gone ahead and decided, it was a Reuters report, so they're investing $6 billion in a data center capacity in Visakhapatnam.
Yes.
in a dead economy.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
I know
Hey,
he will soon say that Google cannot invest in India.
no.
Like he was saying to Apple, and you
I
cannot
don't think
manufacture
that they
in
can
India.
do as much. I mean,
He
he will pull a few strings, but
He can do that.
Means
Means they will invest where the growth is and where money is to be made. Simple as
I
that.
think just pressure tactics. Yeah.
Yeah.
IT is taking a
Big knock now.
continuous knock, continuously falling for, I mean, while the H2 commentary from most companies was good, etc. Somehow Nifty IT
Suddenly-
does your software tell you how much is that fallen in the last 1 month? Nifty
Yeah.
IT
It will.
1 month down. I'm sure it's a very large downtick
Hmm.
over a 1 month basis. There could be erratic moves, slightly higher, etc. But over a 1 month period, I think Nifty IT has fallen quite a bit. By any chance, yeah. So
Yeah.
IT has some issues to itself. So इससे जल्दी मैं कर लेता हूँ.
हाँ.
कर लो?
Calculate कर लो ना.
हाँ?
Yeah, I think यहाँ पर नेट का प्रॉब्लम है. That's why it's
आपके सॉफ्टवेयर का प्रॉब्लम है. मैं कर लूँ 10 सेकंड में.
करो ना.
दो लैपटॉप दो.
करो. आ गया. करो इसको क्लिक करो इसको. अरे इसको.
So anyway, point being that IT is obviously under pressure. We'll give you the absolute number in just about a couple of minutes.
Why? Sajeet, why?
Yeah.
छोड़ो यार. तुम why का आंसर दो.
किसके लिए? IT के लिए.
Why is IT under pressure?
अरे सिंपल सी बात है यार. Means the thing is that in September, October, we had this entire conversation around AI, and then we saw money flowing.
ये देखो. कितनी जल्दी मैं लेके आया.
10% ना.
हाँ. कितनी जल्दी मैं लेके आया. आपका सॉफ्टवेयर. But 10% in a month, guys, it's quite
It's
a
a
bit.
huge.
It's quite a bit fall. So
And now closing in and closer to the 52-week low than the rebound level that IT had. I'm quite sure that we're very, very
It's
close
almost
to the 52-week low.
It lost most of the gains, no?
Almost all of the gains. I
Yeah.
think it started from what Jan. This is what Jan.
हाँ,
No,
that was when
April.
it was at
7
33K.
April ना ये तो
Yes.
अप्रैल से जब पूरा मार्केट
33K
बाउंस
पे
हुआ.
हाँ,
वहाँ से.
33K से बाउंस होके 38 तक गया और फिर वापस अभी 35.
Yeah, this is like IT
पूरा गिर
ETF.
गया.
But why, sir? Why? And why so slow? I mean, the commentary though came at the start of the month,
देखो,
right?
there were two phases, right?
we're now on 1st August.
There were two phases of IT. One, when you had those deep seeks and other things coming in, and then you suddenly have money flowing into those kind of companies in Asian markets and Chinese market and everything. And that was one tech rally that happened because of how AI is going to be driving. At that time, you had again outflow of IT companies, outflows from IT companies happened. Then it recovered a bit. Then again, what we are seeing is again after the TCS announcement of 2% of workforce reduction, we're again talking about AI-led. This time we are looking at which are the companies who will benefit from AI or who are capable or are positioned themselves to manage the transition well. And there as well, again, we are finding that money again flowing out. There's also one more thing which is there. FI flows have been going out as well for the last 2 to 3 months. Rupee has been under pressure.
Yes, that could well be the case.
So rupee under pressure is a good thing.
No, rupee under pressure from a point of view of foreign investors. Simple as.
तो अभी ये बताओ, यहाँ से लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं? आईटी में जान कब आएगी?
आईटी में जान तो हम पहले से बोल रहे हैं ना कि सेकंड हाफ में आएगी थोड़ी बहुत.
अगस्त तो सेकंड हाफ ही हुआ.
नहीं सेकंड हाफ ऑफ फाइनेंशियल ईयर.
अच्छा, सेकंड हाफ
फाइनेंशियल ईयर.
एफवाई.
हम एफआई वाले लोग हैं यार, हम सीवाई वाले नहीं.
मैं अगस्त महीने में ना मैं सीवाई वाला हो गया. Simply because this is the best. We are entering the best time of the year.
यार ये चीज तुमने जुलाई के समय में बोली थी.
छोड़ दो, मार्केट नहीं बोल रहा हूँ भाई साहब.
Holidays,
रक्षाबंधन, इंडिपेंडेंट फेस्टिवल्स, द होल मूड ऑफ द नेशन, मैन. गणेश चतुर्थी आएगी, बाद में नवरात्रि, बाद में दिवाली. अरे यार, this is the best time of the year. So India is on an absurd upswing during this.
So what should be the theme here? Consumption, right?
You could argue.
So if consumption is the theme, and in the last, and I was doing this exercise, last 3 months, Nifty consumption index is up nearly 1.2% or something, and it's mirroring Nifty rural. Means Nifty rural जैसे move कर रहा है, consumption भी ऐसे ही move कर रहा है. Last 3 months में we have seen now HUL, Dabur, in its earnings have said that okay, they've seen revival happening in consumption, urban consumption, which is there. If that is the thing, Nifty FMCG, which is down nearly 12% in the beginning of the year, it should start moving up now. Because it's anyway underperforming Nifty consumption and Nifty rural. And urban is if urban is coming back, and the reason why they're saying urban is coming back is because of tax cuts, which has brought in some kind of household income. Then for front loading of rates, which have reduced EMIs, again adding to household income. And going forward, if there is a GST rationalization which happens in a month or two, that will again add some kind of household income to the urban consumers in that sense. So in that way, the Nifty FMCG may be coming up, Nifty consumption may go up from here. That's what my view is. अगर आप बोल रहे हैं कि we are entering the golden phase of consumption, which is August, with four festivals or 6 festivals.
We are entering the golden phase of sentiment.
Sentiment links to consumption, right?
Very right.
Simple. मतलब आप ऐसा तो नहीं, sentiment अच्छा पर मैं खाऊंगा नहीं, ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता.
I am on a weight loss spree. नहीं खाऊंगा.
The gym should do better.
The gym should be do.
Someone has to do well, sir.
Talwarkar is no longer
listed.
Those are the days, man. This Talwarkar Fitness Center was listed stock.
And it used to run like anything.
Before it really became also ran. फट गई उसकी. But I mean, I remember that. I've covered that stock in my earlier avatar as a news anchor. So, but yeah, this is the best phase from a sentiment perspective.
But what's your take on IT?
No, I mean, see, I would suspect that we are
too pessimistic on IT now, right?
Yeah.
In that sense. That's something I don't think we need to be that pessimistic. My view is that second half would be much better, and then you're going to see a revival jump. So agar 10%.
But everything is pointing at negative, right? It's layoffs, hiring isn't picking up along
You know,
with
there was a
layoffs
time
coming
in the US when there used to be layoffs and the stock used to go up.
No, so that could well be the case for IT as well. That could be a good
I'm
argument
saying
to
that
say.
the layoffs could well be because now so it's unfortunate for the country that one of the highest employers will now not hire as much and in fact lay off people. But for the companies, it might be okay because right now they are focusing on how to save the margins. Parallelly, they'll teach people how to work on AI, agentic AI, and try and see. I firmly believe at the end of the day, corporations the world over will need corporations like the Indian IT services companies to help them navigate the AI maze for their companies, right? Perplexity or Gemini is not going to do that. They are product companies. You need service companies to help your company navigate to the AI maze. वो आएगा turn.
We are
पर उसके
moving
लिए-
to
पर उसके लिए इतने जन नहीं चाहिए.
we are moving to an era called human AI, basically, where you need humans to use or direct AI to do a certain work. AI will not do it for itself in that sense.
तो वही हो
So,
जाएगा.
वही.
That's my guess.
So IT bottoms around 33K,
I don't
plus
know.
minus 10%.
हाँ, मतलब अभी यहाँ से 5-10% का
और
plus
लग
minus
रहा है?
करके bottom.
33,000.
नहीं पता नहीं ना, market could remain irrational for a lot longer than you can remain solvent. So never know.
You know, I think
other bucket,
we are factoring. We are not factoring one thing, which is the earnings, right? Because normally at the beginning of every financial year, we have earnings growth expectation of 15%, 12 to 15%. This year we started with a lower earnings growth because we saw the earnings downgrade happening in December, January for the next financial year. So we are starting at 8 to 10%. Do you think that we have almost 15 days left for the first quarter to go? Do you think that the earnings growth has been to our liking to reach the 10% level? I don't think so.
No. But
5 to 7% अभी 8 to 10 अभी 5 to 7 हो गया basically.
यार देखो, comment अब ये सोचो कि IT earnings will pick up in the second half. Consumer has already shown good numbers and will likely do well if this is a consumption-led economy, right? Banks बचे, हर्ष बताएंगे banks के earnings क्या लग रहे हैं for the year?
Right
Okay?
now, they look okay.
They look okay.
Yeah,
They're not the outliers.
My sense is it'll be high single digit.
versus
YOY growth.
versus
YOY.
नहीं लास्ट ईयर कहते था सिंगल डिजिट
डबल डिजिट था,
तो वहां पर भी स्लो डाउन तो है.
स्लाइट स्लो डाउन आएगा because margin compression होगा. That will start leveling off and that will play out better for FY27. एक तो बेस कम हो जाएगा और दूसरा की मार्जिन का फुल रिकवरी तुमको FY27 में दिखेगा. So that recovery will happen because of the cyclicality of the business. No other reason.
No, but which basically means 33% of 34% of the index is financial services. तो वहाँ पर भी स्लो डाउन अगर आ गया तो फिर बचा क्या है. ऑयल में अगेन देयर इज एन इशू व्हिच इज गोइंग टू कम इन रशियन क्रूड की वजह से. The impact as of now it's not there anymore because we are factoring in $80 or something. The moment oil goes above $80 that's when we will start feeling the pinch. Companies will start feeling the pinch and then the inflation comes into the picture in that sense. So आपका oil वहाँ पर हो गया. FMCG gradual है. I mean, second half growth we are looking at the consumption which is there. IT is slow. We are looking at what 0 to 3% growth. Like last year was 5%. This is 0 to 3%. Auto two-wheeler numbers have not been so great except for TVS, which earnings were good. But I think this monthly numbers of Bajaj was down 18% domestic sales, which is there. Passenger vehicle is doing well. Mahindra has come out with good numbers, but CVs and tractors have been sluggish. तो अभी कौन से सेक्टर बचे जो हमको वहां तक ले जाएंगे?
Commentary ठीक है यार, मुझे लग रहा है. I think
see everyone is positive about the commentary कि second half is going to be better.
So देखो गौतम दुकान ने बोला कि he did 50 plus meetings.
हाँ.
With fund managers.
हाँ, I saw that tweet of yours.
तो उसने बोला 50 plus meetings. Everybody is saying that 5% 6% है earnings growth. It will require one good quarter, decent commentary for the market to move into the mood कि नहीं earnings growth 5-6% नहीं है, 10% है. मेरा मानना है कि 10 से 12% हो जाना चाहिए.
10 से इसके बाद भी you're putting it it's not front loaded, back loaded.
Back simply because the RBI action and all of this tax boost etc. If this doesn't turn it around then I don't know what can. Right? There are serious rate cuts done. The government has put money in the hands of the consumer, right? And I remember Pranjul Bhandari's comment well before the RBI started that this year cannot be a year wherein the government gets GDP growth or the country gets GDP growth via capex. This year has to be the year of the consumer. You need to give that push to the consumer. उसके बाद गवर्नमेंट ने ये कर दिया है, आरबीआई ने ये कर दिया है, आपकी ईएमआईज में कटौती होगी, इसमें कटौती होगी, क्रेडिट कार्ड डेट में कटौती होगी, होपफुली ऑल ऑफ दैट hopefully will lead to a good consumption boost.
But sir, sorry, in terms of commentary वो दिख नहीं रहा है यार, sorry to say.
हाँ, मैं इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ कि शायद वो festive season में आएगा.
So then अगर
is the panacea for all things bad. Sentiment, mark my words, August 28th, we'll be having a different conversation.
In the sense, we'll be at the bottom is what you're saying.
I'm saying at that point of time, no matter what happens in the world, there's some spiritual power, something. Call me a stupid person out here, I don't mind. But it changes. Something happens around that time.
You speak to a FMCG guy and wholesaler, and they will tell you that the start of the season begins from the south when Onam starts.
Maybe.
Means Onam is this time in August 26th. Ganesh Chaturthi is 27th, which is there. But 1 week prior to that, that means 15th August के बाद से, when you have those $1 billion sales and other stuff, those things will decide how it's going to be there.
देख लेना Sajeet,
because last year second half was not as good. Remember, means that was a commentary. And इस बार HUL ने ये कहा है कि my first half will be better than the second half of last year. So hopefully, that if that is a thing, then you're going to see what Nifty consumption and Nifty FMCG index rallying from here, right?
कब है गणेश चतुर्थी वैसे?
27 अगस्त को.
हम लोग 28 अगस्त को वार्तालाप करेंगे इस पे.
हाँ, 28 नहीं, उससे पहले कर लेंगे. हमको पता चल जाएगा कि क्या हो रहा है.
But
simple.
I'm saying we should hit those 10 days somehow have magic in them.
अब बताइए दूसरा क्या है? रशिया.
बस अभी क्वेश्चंस लेते हैं.
क्वेश्चन लेते हैं.
I think so. 2-3 दिन से लिए नहीं.
हाँ, 2-3 दिन से नहीं लिए हैं और काफी लोग would like Niraj sir's take on take on Zomato valuation versus growth potential. Sajeet and Hersh seems bearish on this counter. I thought Swiggy's earnings were bad, but commentary was positive. That's what my view was. That they've been very pragmatic in terms of spending their money. While Zomato on the other hand has been very aggressive in saying, we are going to go now 2,000 and 3,000 dark stores. Swiggy is now saying that we're going to be slow on our dark stores. What we are doing is we are looking at large format dark stores, which basically consolidation of dark stores. So at one point in time, within a 5 kilometer radius, if you used to have one dark store or something, now what Swiggy is trying to say, I will have within 10 kilometers a larger format dark store with higher SKUs. And I'm looking at not quick commerce, fast commerce. That's what I've been talking about, right?
But sorry, what's happening to Swiggy today? Because food delivery, the numbers were better.
The better quick commerce was bad
than Zomato. So that stood out for me.
And their commentary for the next second half was a little better, I thought. The earnings were not as good.
No,
it was below expectation. So stock is down because of that. But the question is very simple. अगले 6 महीने और 1 साल में कौन पहले प्रॉफिट करेगा? जो प्रॉफिट करेगा हेल्दी
कर सकते हैं. इतना कंपटीशन है, कर सकते हैं. रियलिस्टिक है आपके हिसाब से, कर सकते हैं. रियलिस्टिक है.
6 महीने में नहीं होने वाला है. मतलब क्यों कॉमर्स में नहीं होने वाला है?
सवाल किसके लिए था?
आपके लिए.
जवाब किसने दिया?
हमने तो अपना बताया.
मैं तो और सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ. हाँ. मैंने तो और 3 सवाल दिए.
बताओ. अच्छा चलो बताओ. नहीं, हम स्विगी पे बोल रहे थे, आप जोमेटो पे बोल रहे थे.
2 मिनट का एक्चुअली I don't know if you can put that bite or that interview of, but आप शायद if you can search for it, Pankaj Murarka's conversation with us. He tracks this space very, very closely. And I thought what he said made sense, that if you're looking at these businesses, don't look at them from the near term, because near term valuation cannot show any optimism. It is impossible to buy or invest into a Swiggy or a Zomato on the back of valuations. You are buying them on the back of the promise of the story. And the promise of the story is that now they are no longer necessarily loss-making, strapped of capital tech platforms. They are presumably profit-making, having capital platforms with an embedded user base, and can stave off competitive pressures from incumbent corporates. And therefore, they'll keep on adding users, keep on making use cases additional From one Zomato, Eternal now has a Blinkit, has a District, has a Zomato. What stops them from doing 3 more over a period of time, and all of these platforms becoming large enough in a 150 crore nation?
I don't
You buy
doubt
that
that,
promise.
sir. So I don't doubt that. But
But
I have
what is
one
the
argument.
promise delivered over
Quantum
a
of users.
no,
Once they get a
or
critical mass.
or what period of time?
5 7 10 साल doesn't matter. अब 2 साल पहले सजीत मुझे याद है Zomato when it was 40 or 45 people wrote it off. तभी किसी ने आके बोला कि नहीं, at some point of time पंकज मुरार का नहीं बोला था कि Zomato or these guys will come into the index. People laughed at it. संजीव बिखचंदानी, it's a beautiful interview. 3 साल पुराना है, but पंकज मुरार and संजीव बिखचंदानी and I were in a half an hour conversation wherein they explained this whole method of how India could behave with these platforms. 3 साल पहले की बात है. 45 rupees पे Zomato आज इंडेक्स पे है.
Do you think Swiggy can also come to the index?
Yeah, I mean, these guys will keep on gaining size, no? These guys will keep on gaining size because they ask yourself, I mean, at some point of time, they turn the lever, become profitable, etc., etc., etc. Ask yourself, can you, Hersh or me or anybody else do without one of the 8 or 9 apps that are there? You can choose whichever. You may not be using a Zomato, but you might be using a Blinkit. You may be not using an Instamart, but you might be using a Zepto. Do each of us use one of these things or no almost every single day? We do. Everybody does. And the last point here, I'm so happy with Zomato and Swiggy simply because there is a very large employment that they are giving to the gig economy. People may scoff at it. Arey, ye nahi hai, wo nahi hai, boss. India has a massive labor workforce, right? No job is a small job. These guys are going out there. They are doing out their own terms. I speak to those guys when they come and give the delivery. बोलते हैं अभी 5 घंटा सोना है, आज ज्यादा काम है, कल मुझे 3 घंटा सोना, मैं खोलूंगा, अपने हिसाब से काम करता हूँ, किसी के लिए काम नहीं करता. They're very happy, some of them. And as long as you give them water, give them a good tip, it's a decent income source for a country which has got a labor workforce.
That I agree.
That's completely.
And that will stay. And that's why I'm
the only worry, sorry, that I have is with regard to profitability. Yaar. I mean, when do you see? And sir, this is Zomato is trading at now what 3 lakh crore in market cap. That's no mean feat for a company which has done 500 crore in PAT in FY25.
But I think there is no linearity in the PAT growth. When it comes, it will zoom up. I'm saying you see. My point is,
but even if it zooms, chalo, it becomes 10x from here. It's still trading at 3 lakh crore. 5,000 crore PAT.
So no, okay, let's assume that
3,000 crore, sir.
let's assume
3 lakh crore, sir, for a 5,000 crore PAT.
Let's assume that अभी 500 crore का PAT है, वो 10x हो जाता है, जैसे
you won't give it 60 times.
No. But do you think that the market cap will also go up by 10x? No, that will not happen, right?
No, one, do I think that will happen? No, but at no point of time, I'm telling you, these things when they move, they are these tech businesses, tech-enabled businesses with stuff like this. I mean, who in their right mind would have said 3 years ago that NSC will move from a 2 lakh crore market cap to a 10-year 10 lakh crore market cap, right? It has. These things move when they have to. I'm saying don't buy the valuations. If you believe in the story, buy the story. You may well go wrong, by the way. You may well go wrong.
But
I'm not advocating a buy or a sell.
The question is that is it worth buying a story at whatever price it is?
No, of course not. Of course not. But I'm saying in a country like India, the promise for a lot of these stories, some will get it right, some will get it wrong. Tomorrow, Zepto could get it right, Zomato may get it completely wrong. So the risk is entirely on which stock you buy, etc. But I'm saying, does the story hold the promise? Yes, it does. Are the valuations very expensive? Yes, they are. You're not buying them for the valuation. That's my simple point.
I agree with you then. The story is amazing and I think the story will play out because this is the way forward. We've all gotten used to it. At least the people with the money at that strata have gotten used to it and it's very difficult to get unhooked. That is the reality.
There is one question for you. Your health is better and Kotak stock is also up because of that.
That's because of Morgan Stanley's note.
What does the note say?
It says, Hersh is feeling better as finally Kotak Bank is up.
No, what does the note say?
So the note is saying that the growth will be stronger for Kotak. Last few years have been a bit of a transition. Now that transition will slowly close. We've bottomed on a 2% ROA. Standalone bank valued at 1.6, 1.7, if I recall, that was the number, which Morgan Stanley had written. 527, of course. But what they're saying is that is relatively cheap for a 2% ROA bank where things are expected to improve, especially on the growth front. That's
So
broadly the
basically
thesis
saying that
which
the
I
valuations are cheaper, so you should buy basically.
risk reward is compelling.
And earnings have been okay, right? There was some slippages in.
No, sir. I wasn't very happy with the numbers. The slippages were elevated. The credit cost was elevated. But the only possible positive is that this is a management which is generally conservative, right? It's just been the case over the last 10 to 15 years. They've proven themselves to be conservative. Now, of course, leadership change, does that change things? That will be the real test, because now they're saying this is the bottom of the cycle. If it doesn't bottom next quarter, then you know that something has changed internally. For me, at least that's how I would read through it. If it has truly bottomed and things start improving immediately from next quarter, then you have to give the management that it's still the same management. The ethos remains the same. We're a conservative bank. One quarter we saw a dip and we bounced back, which is fair. And 1.92% ROA in a bad quarter is not bad, yeah. I mean, for a 1.7 time, which is what Morgan Stanley is valuing it at, by the way. So you'll have to 1.6, 1.7 times. It's not bad.
Another bank question coming for you. Mrinal is asking, hello NDTV, does a resignation of CEO merit a 18% fall in PNB home finance?
No, I wouldn't think so, that it merits an 18% fall.
But does it matter? Fall most certainly.
Yeah, fall most
Hersh
certainly.
Kowski was
the minute it came out, in fact, I texted both Vishy and Somit कि बस कुछ रहेगा तो बताओ, like कुछ माल मसाला इधर से मिल रहा है या उधर से मिल रहा है तो बताओ भाई चल क्या रहा है.
And this PNB housing has been trying to
come
back
CEO,
every time it goes down, right?
So the PNB CEO came out and clarified that he wanted to, Mr. Kowski wanted to move to Bangalore, and therefore it was becoming impossible for him to continue operating as CEO, and therefore
तो Bangalore से CEO operate नहीं कर सकता क्या?
So
मतलब ये क्या बात है?
I didn't ask him. होगा ना sir?
Maybe you want the CEO in the trenches as opposed to being a distant CEO.
100% no sir. Yeah. वो तो कोई doubt नहीं है sir. I mean, I'm sorry, but that I didn't.
I don't think that's a valid argument. But if you say so, it is.
Is that the reason? I don't know. But is the argument valid? Yes. You want the CEO to be along with the team.
Yeah, you want him to be in the head office. So.
That's very PhD-like thing.
No, Sajeet, come on.
Sir,
there are many.
No, sir. Sorry.
Titan for the biggest.
This is not a PSU.
No.
This is not a PSU.
No, I know.
But this is not a PSU.
I know.
And it's a very different
Titan for the biggest time. The management was sitting out of Bangalore. So simple as that.
अरे बाबा, but Titan का धंधा और इसका धंधा अलग है सर.
Sir, इसका process driven
core banking है यार. What are you talking about?
Process driven है sir.
Process banking
Process driven है sir. नहीं sir, tech driven नहीं है. Process driven है sir. You're going into affordable housing. You're going into all of these streams.
How come you're comparing apples and oranges?
You can't compare.
Yeah, even if you're sitting in a Bangalore office, you can be traveling anywhere for anything, right?
But he said that for his personal thing, he needed to be in Bangalore. So
okay, I
didn't have an argument.
I don't buy that argument. He may be saying this argument.
That may be possible.
Saying, okay, my version is I don't buy Sajeet's argument. My point is that I don't know if that is the reason, but if that is the reason, then it's a valid reason.
Exactly. So I didn't ask him. What I though asked him is, do the guidances change? Because they've guided for 2.5%. 2.5% ROA is what they've guided for. So I asked him that, do the guidances change? Does affordable housing focus, all of those guidances that Girish Kowski has come out and given, aggressive ones, do those things change? So that he said, no, that doesn't change. Of course, there's a management team and we'll continue to. But that also rarely happens. And that is where the leadership change apprehension is. That generally if a new leader comes in, he'll bring in his own method to the madness.
The biggest thing with this PNB housing is that interference, which normally comes into the housing finance.
Sir, नहीं है इसका interference. Unfortunately or fortunately, PNB का interference इसमें नहीं है. This is one of those rare cases where there is low interference. And I'll tell you why. You had a Carlyle which has invested in a PNB housing.
What happened to that before that? They were investing and then they had to withdraw.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. Because of the pricing. Right?
And there was nothing.
But eventually it went through.
It didn't go through. They had to withdraw it. Simple as that. And they came with a smaller investment. They were supposed to take.
Eventually क्या हुआ?
ठीक है.
है ना.
Eventually क्या हुआ?
वो बेच के निकल गया ना कार्लाइल उसमें से.
वो
मारो सारे.
और ये तो क्या?
So वो एक concern है. And I flagged it off in my link as well that over the last year or so, a swathe of private equity firms which came in and bought have sold out, but they've also made tremendous returns. और 300 रुपए के भाव पे लेके 800 रुपए पे बेच दिया है. Basically, that is the broad thesis of it. और 1000 रुपए तक जाके आया है वापस.
चलो अगला
1.3 times book पे अगर तुम ट्रेड कर रहे हो, you're giving a 2.5% ROA, decent early teen, mid-teen kind of growth, guiding for 17% growth. It doesn't look entirely concerning. The only problem will be, sir, new leadership coming in. What does that do?
Ajay, there are a couple of questions coming.
Let's how much we love talking. The question was, does it deserve a 18% downtick? 5 मिनट का रामायण कर दिया.
इसको और तुम तो बेकार में बैंगलोर से काम ही नहीं हो सकता. ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? बैंगलोर से काम नहीं हो सकता. सिंपल. हिमालय is asking question, miss you guys.
Traffic only. इसके लिए काम नहीं हो पाएगा.
Also view on Adani Enterprises wire and cable JV. Downstream business, they're getting into it. They're making a copper business using that. Ayushman Lalwani, Adani Power considering stock split. I think Saturday ko kuch hai, I think. If I'm not wrong.
How will
it affect the liquidity? Yes, it will increase the liquidity by a little bit. Means stock split hoga to.
मुझे पता ही नहीं इसके बारे में. Sorry.
Himalay is asking question. We on Ambani's purchasing JFS stake. बताइए.
बढ़िया है. It's a good thing.
Warrants liya na.
It gives
that
you,
takes them beyond 50.
Yeah, it gives you more comfort that the promoter is putting in money, even though 10,000 crore is not material for
him.
And for JFS. Sir, but
and for
JFS, but nonetheless, it's surely a vindication. And it's
tell me one thing: they were sitting on the treasury stock, right? They could have raised money through the treasury stock without going for dilution.
सर वो सवाल था ही नहीं ना, उसको चाहिए था कि पाई टेक 51%.
तो वही तो मैं बता रहा हूँ आपको कि वो 51% का वो क्या है. He still has a control. from 48 he has gone to 54%.
हाँ.
He still has. What does it change materially on the board for
majority?
कुछ नहीं change होता.
कुछ change नहीं होता सर board पे, but majority stay.
So we have to wrap up now.
Okay.
Last 2 questions.
Sadanand Sinha, kudos to the NDTV team. News are very much original and genuine. Thank you, Niraj sir. Please give us sense of Ambani's investing in Geo Finance. Are they looking for some bonus?
नहीं, same.
आपने सवाल नहीं,
सवाल हमने पूछा है, जवाब आपको देना पड़ेगा.
इसमें क्या?
Same to same क्या?
क्या? IPO और हर्ष से.
तो ये क्वेश्चन तो why are NBFC and home finance companies down ना? बजाज फाइनेंस के बताइए, उनको पूछिए. एंड बजाज फाइनेंस की कमेंट्री की वजह से या एनी अदर रीजन?
नहीं, I think the run up was very, very sharp. I'll be frank with you, and therefore I remember that Niraj sir, you had only asked me when rate cuts had happened, कि which NBFC is most bullish, this, that. Someone had posed a question, and I'd said very difficult because just the run up already which has happened
very swift
was very, very swift. Bajaj Finance has come off also, so and the numbers and the commentary didn't sound as bad. At least I didn't find it.
Yeah, I didn't find it bad. It came in 3 days after they said that Rajiv Jain will be the MD, so all okay.
Niraj sir, I have a question regarding financial planning. Till now, I'm investing 60% of my savings in mutual funds, rest in FDs or bonds. Looking at this tariff times, can I move my part FD to gold ETF?
I mean, so sorry, okay, this is easier to answer, but just very quickly, I don't know what your age is also, but almost, if you talk to Sridhar Shivram, for example, there is a 15-year, 16-year history which shows that sensex gold returns have been slightly better than sensex returns. And if therefore you get the diversification by investing in gold as well a little bit, why not? Why not? Entirely.
Spandan Kumar Sahu, Niraj sir, can you comment anything on holding Reliance Power, GNG Electronics, and Chennai Petroleum for next 1 or 2 quarters?
I'm sorry, I don't know per se, but I must tell you. So one thing on Chennai Petro, there is a note that I read. Yes Securities, which said that, and in fact, I was just doing that bit of a check. Singapore GRMs, Sajeet, you might have some viewer as well. Singapore GRMs are 3.5 or thereabouts, but diesel cracks are much wider. And therefore, I think Chennai Petro might actually be northwards of 9%, 10%. And therefore, quarter 2, quarter 3 earnings could be very good.
Q1 was a dampener because of inventory losses, which was there.
But Q2, Q3 could be very good for Chennai Petro, so keep that in mind.
GNG Electronics is into refurbishing, right, of laptops and desktops. I think it's one of the kind companies in India. in that sense.
तो अच्छा है यार, बहुत इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वेस्ट है.
And a large part of it happens in the UAE market for them actually. So HP, Dell, and everything, refurbishing of those laptops and desktops they do and they sell it.
Wow, okay.
So it got listed last week only, right? Or this week? GNG.
अभी
in the
अभी
last
अभी
5-6
list हुआ है.
last
हाँ,
5-6
अभी-
days.
अभी-
Yeah. Pleasure.
Last question, sir.
Last question, Sajeet Ji. Okay, in
Sajeet Ji.
PSUs, the subsidiary enjoys complete independence. The CEO needs to be present to the CEO needs to present to the board once in 3 months. Speaking from my own experience. ये लोग CEO MP जी CEO हैं.
नहीं, मैं
पर-
कहाँ ना बोल रहा हूँ.
बिल्कुल आप सही कह रहे होंगे, पर यहाँ पर जो रीजन बोला है वो रीजन से मैं एग्री नहीं करता.
वैसे वो पोल का रिजल्ट आया कि नहीं आया? हमने सजीत पे
Boring.
पोल लिया था.
बोरिंग सेल्फ डिसिप्लिन. हर्ष के लिए क्वेश्चन है, फाइनल क्वेश्चन. ब्रिंग देवयानी मैनेजमेंट फॉर इंटरव्यू. दे नेवर डू इंटरव्यूज.
तो फिर कैसे लाएंगे? बट विल ट्राई.
हाँ. एंड महेश, जेन स्ट्रीट एंड नोवामा इम्पैक्ट.
ये ठीक है यार, it'll pass. It pass. I think the Bernstein had a lovely note on wealth managers. I think it's a brilliant industry for the next 10-15
There
years.
are, means from my point of view, Nuvama was just a broker for Jane Street, right? In that sense.
But sir, look at the stock crack on the back of this. Last 5 days, 6% down. Stock. Aren't these like, I mean, wouldn't you call these just buying opportunities into something which is like
See, there is a
20 something kind of
Hersh,
earnings
there
multiples
there is a corporate action waiting to happen on this, right? The change in ownership going to happen in Nuvama. And we've been hearing of those reports saying that, they want to sell. So if that happens, if it happens, then you're going to see some kind of action and open offer which might come in there. We don't know when it's going to happen. We've seen only reports about it. But yes, that change in P, which is selling off, and another one which is coming in, that's an action which is there. I think ये Jane Street की वजह से वो अटक गया और वो push हो गया मेरे ख्याल से.
Yeah, हो जाएगा.
done.
Perfect.
So yes.
Sorry, sir, but done.
Yes, done.
Just couple of appreciations. I think Sajeet sir has one appreciation, where you have Sadanand Sinha saying, fan of IPO Adda, Sajeet sir.
Question
Please give a sense of implication of recent changes in UPI on neo payment like MobiKwik, Paytm, etc. on their business.
What's the impact? I heard that ICICI Bank also has started charging for transactions.
हाँ, ये मैंने भी सुना.
But she said it's passed on to the
vendors.
Vendors. So consumer merchant.
So then there is no impact there.
No impact.
और कुछ है? खत्म.
बस यार, चलो.
चलो.
चलिए.
That's it. See you on Monday. Hopefully we'll have a.
Why was the show not on for a few days? AUNVS has said.
Yes, I was on leave.
Zooms if necessary. That is his.
Be tech savvy.
Suggestion.
नीरज सर, पिछले हफ्ते आपने कोचिंग मारी थी.
मैं तो टेक सेव, मैं तो यहाँ पे था भाई साहब, आप नहीं थे. आप चले गए थे घूमने.
हम जूम में करेंगे.
कहाँ गए थे आप? लंदन?
नहीं, हम लंदन नहीं गए थे.
अंटार्कटिका?
हम गॉड्स ओन कंट्री गए थे.
अमेरिका?
गॉड्स ओन कंट्री.
गॉड्स ओन कंट्री.
केरला कहते हैं इसको.
पता है.
चलिए. Thank you guys. Thank you.